How's it going, everyone? It is Andre Williams, and over here we talk stocks and we focus on one thing. Always protect your profits. We also got to put in the disclaimer. I'm not a financial advisor, and this isn't financial advice. So just know when you do invest, you're doing it at your own risk. So today we're going to be talking about NIO. It's been a minute since we spoke about it on this channel, but they're making some serious moves, and I do see an opportunity for anyone who's interested in investing in the company. But before we get started, like I do in all my videos, we got to go over the agenda. You already know that timestamps are also going to be down below inside the description, just in case you might want to watch more parts than the others and so forth. So the first thing that we're going to be going over in this video is the recent news that came from NIO about expanding. Yes, expanding outside of China. So I'm going to be sharing that with you. And then for the second update, NIO getting into blockchain. Yes, that is right. So we're going to be going over that. That's going to be a Benzinga article, so I can't wait to share that with you guys. Then after that, we're going to be doing a technical analysis. We already see how the market conditions are, but if you're like myself, when we buy stocks, we want to make sure we get it at a good deal. So where are some possible areas where the stock can pull back to? And also, what are those areas of resistance? This is beneficial for investors and as well as traders. And then on top of that, we're going to be looking at the institutional ownership and as well as the short interest information. Are institutions loading the boat on a NIO pullback? Hey, we're curious. We want to know. And also we want to know, what is the short squeeze potential? What is the overall sentiment? How's the market actually feeling about NIO? So you already know there's going to be a final thought after all of that. Like, look at that. Look at all that value you're going to be getting in this video. So I won't take up any more of your time. Let's get started, and then I'll give you guys my final thoughts after all those videos. So now on Yahoo Finance, we're going to be going over the recent news that came out for NIO today. So Chinese electric vehicle maker NIO launches its first overseas store in Norway. So EV maker NIO Inc. said on Thursday that it had launched its first overseas store in Norway and plans to start selling cars in the country as it pushes to expand globally. NIO, which makes electric sport utility vehicles in China's eastern city of Hefei, is employing more than 9,000 staff globally, said Chief Executive William Lai. The company, backed by Chinese tech giant Tencent, has delivered over 100,000 cars since it was set up in 2014, almost all of them in China. The automaker's chief in Norway, Marius Haler, said at an online event that NIO was building its first showroom outside China in Norway's capital city, Oslo. It aims to open the first showroom in September. NIO will open stores in 4 other Norway cities in 2022, Haler said. NIO will sell the ES8 sport utility vehicles and the ET7 sedans in Norway and will open charging stations and battery swapping stations, Haler said. Norway is boosting sales of electric vehicles, which represent over half of the country's all-new car sales. China's EV makers have been looking to push up exports in line with Beijing's ambition to build a world-class auto industry and to compete with traditional auto firms. NIO's rivals Xpeng Inc. and BYD already sell electric cars in Europe. NIO's co-founder and president Qin Lai Hong told Reuters at the Shanghai Auto Show that NIO would build a user community in foreign markets as it does in China when it sells cars globally. The company will adjust to local environments by hiring local staff and learn local culture, Quinn had said. NIO is valued at $61.8 billion based on its New York stock listing, just below Germany's BMW. Last year, NIO's CEO William Lai said the firm aimed to enter more markets from 2022. The company is also researching entering the United States, the world's #2 auto market after China, NIO executives have said, reporting by Yilin Sun and Tony Monroe, editing by Hamani Sakar. So this is actually great news for NIO. This will help in regards to expansion and also just building an overall presence outside of China. And like they were talking about, they want to kind of also build on a user community, and I think that is a great direction that they're going to be going into, and I can see this benefiting the bottom line going forward. So we're on benzinga.com, and we're going to be taking a look at a recent press release that came out yesterday for NIO that I'm going to be sharing with you guys. NIO's posting for blockchain expert in US triggers crypto speculation. So as we scroll down, NIO has been on the forefront of many innovations on the technology and the services front. A recent job posting by NIO on its LinkedIn account has set tongues wagging about a possible crypto foray by the electric vehicle manufacturer. What happened? NIO, which is on the verge of announcing a European expansion plan, posted on its LinkedIn account calling for a blockchain and security software engineer for its San Jose, California location. The responsibilities listed include designing and building a blockchain systems, which are shared ledgers in an append-only distributed system of record shared across a business network. The responsibilities will also include working with cross-functional teams to identify software requirements, create prototypes, and deliver production-ready systems in the areas of blockchain and security engineering. Taking cues from the posting, rumors about the potential launch of a NIO coin are making the rounds. A NIO coin could fit in with the company's scheme of establishing itself as a lifestyle brand, WCCF Tech, a technology-focused news site, reported. Why it's important. US EV giant Tesla announced earlier this year it decided to hold some of its treasury reserves in Bitcoin and also use their crypto as a payment option for its vehicles. So taking this into consideration, and from what I'm getting from this and what my analysis is, I think this is great for NIO. If they can bring in something called a NIO coin, it definitely can build on the lifestyle brand that they want to achieve. And also on top of that, it does open up more opportunities in regards to cryptocurrencies, accepting Bitcoin, like how Tesla has gone to that area as well. So I definitely like how this is looking, and it's definitely going to be great for the future of NIO as well. So we're going to be doing a technical analysis for NIO. So NIO ended up closing the day at $36.68, being down 2.73% on the day. On the low, it tested $35.77, and then on the high, testing $38.04. So what we're looking at right now is actually the 1 day, 1 year chart. So what we want to see are areas of support and as well as areas of resistance here. So as you can see, it closed the day at 36.68. So we definitely saw it did test 35.77, but it looks to have some strong support here at this $36 level. One thing that I'll be looking out for, especially if you want to even get a better deal on NIO, is look out for this level here around $34. So if you get in that $34 range, I think that is a great opportunity. Do keep in mind, back on March 5th, when a lot of stocks started dipping, right? We got down to a low over here around $32. So we'll just call that 32. So taking that into consideration, will it be able to revisit this $32 range? Possibly. It could make a recovery and may not catch it, but that's an area that I'm definitely going to be looking out for. But I'm definitely seeing that we can test around the $34 level. This is an area of support we had in the past, and it'd be interesting to see how well it would hold up. If that area did end up breaking at 34, like I said, definitely start looking out for 33, 32. Now, areas of resistance that NIO is currently dealing with at the moment is right here at this $40 level. This is a key psychological level. Anytime there's a lot of buying pressure and a lot of volume, I could definitely see NIO taking off in that 40 level and then meeting the next resistance area here around $43. So taking this into consideration, as far as how the overall chart is looking, it's looking bearish, right? It already broke through the 100-day, it broke through the 21-day EMA, and it looks like it's trying to break through the 200-day as well. So it breaking through the 200-day, there's definitely some downside opportunities for anyone who's looking to invest or even looking into doing a swing trade in regards to NIO. So that's one thing that I wanted to share with you guys for today. And also to kind of, before we finish things up, yes, there's a lot of volatility inside the market. So if you take a look down below over here, you can see the RSI is around 40. So that's part of the reasons why I was telling you guys there might be some more room for downward pressure, and it's just another opportunity to take advantage of the conditions that we actually have. But what's going to be very interesting to see is whether NIO can actually use this 200-day as support. Is it going to be able to bounce off and then have some move to the upside, or is it going to break right through it? So it'll be interesting to see how this rest of this week actually progresses. I know it's not much of it left, but we're definitely going to be keeping an eye on it, especially going into next week and seeing what things look like. So we're on fintel.io, and we're going to be taking a look at the institutional ownership and as well as the short interest information for NIO. So as we scroll down on the page, green rows indicate new positions while red rows indicate closed positions. So what we could see for May the 6th, which is today, we definitely a lot of institutional activity here. We have 3 institutions that ended up closing out their positions, but we still do have about 3, 4, 5, 7 institutions that went in with new positions. And also take into consideration of the fact that, hey, these are sizable amount of shares that they've taken or they've been adding. So we can see from Prospera today going in with 6,200 shares, and as well as First National Trust Company having 189,000 shares, and as well as Fagan and Associates going in with 24,000. So those are the most notable and so forth. We could scroll down, see a look how the previous history has been doing, but so far from what it's looking like, institutions are bulling and it looks like they are picking up on the dip, while we have others who are hedging and closing out positions. So as we take a look at the short interest information, the short volume ratio for NIO is at 56%. This is extremely high. We know if it's 21% or higher, definitely a lot of short squeeze potential here, and this is exactly what I'm seeing in NIO. To kind of put things in perspective, market volume, this is the amount of shares that were traded yesterday, was around 24.2 million, and out of those shares there was 13.5 million that were sold short, which is crazy. As far as short shares availability, it stands at 10 million, and the short ball free rate is actually fairly low at 0.28%. As far as the history for the short volume ratio, this has definitely been at its high. It's never been this high recently, and we're going back as far as April the 22nd. So it's going to be very interesting to see how further price action looks like for NIO, but there's definitely a lot of short squeeze potential here. So for my final thoughts for NIO, things are definitely looking good for this company. The fact that they're taking an initiative and expanding outside of China is what you want to see, and this will definitely benefit the bottom line over time, and I do believe they'll be able to sell cars down in Norway. Now, the next thing that we want to take a look at is this move into blockchain. I know that they really want to build themselves up as a lifestyle brand and build a community, and I feel like this is a great move to make. Can you imagine hearing things like the NIO coin and how much excitement this could actually stir up? We also know that Tesla actually got into purchasing Bitcoin and so forth, and I wouldn't be surprised if NIO actually takes that position as well. So taking all of that into consideration, so them expanding outside of China and this blockchain move is definitely going to be looking good for NIO for the long term, and this is why I'm talking about it on this channel. The next thing that I want to go over with you guys, there is a lot of skepticism in the market for NIO, and that's part of the reason why that's evident when we took a look at the short volume ratio. We already know the market conditions already. A lot of stocks are down, and NIO is definitely not immune to this. But we also need to understand, we know that they did end up putting out some solid delivery numbers, but at the same time, we're also dealing with a chip shortage. So that doesn't help the stock overall in general. And then another thing to also take a look at, it is a Chinese company. They're not looked at the same degree in regards to a North American company like a Tesla and so forth. Of course, that is very unfortunate, but at the same time, I think it does provide an opportunity for anyone who wants to invest in NIO. NIO is definitely not a scam to me. I've done a lot of due diligence, homework, been following the stock for quite some time. So I feel like, hey, where it's at price-wise is an opportunity, because with this stock, I would not be surprised if you should be able to actually double your money within a year. Yes, I am calling that out. I think right now at where it is around $36, it could easily get to $80 by next year or the year after. But you know what? I'm calling it even for next year sometime. It could come this year as well. But I see NIO being exactly an $80 stock at the bare minimum. Of course, taking into valuation right now, no, not as of yet. But as we go forward a year out, I could see it being $80, especially with the moves that they're making. And I know they still have some other initiatives in place, especially getting into the North American market. And we already know how big that is overall in general. And we also do know the ambitions of China as well, really wanting to cement themselves as a world leader when it comes to vehicles. So just taking all of that into consideration, that's why I shared it. I'm going to be looking out for a bigger dip in NIO and get my position in, because like I said, I'm really trying to benefit. And on this channel, we make sure that we always protect our profits, and I can see a lot of profits in the future if you own stocks in this company. We'll talk soon.